I don't know if Weckingball is a pastor, but he's been preaching from the skate gospel for the past week. Love him or hate him, he's onto something. So when I first designed this skateboard and posted about it, which by the way, we still have some available, the Trump Steam boards, more giveaways on the next video, most people were super hyped about it, but a couple did reach out to me and said, bro, do not mix politics and skateboarding. Get politics out of here. There's no room for politics and skateboarding. And while that sounds all nice and altruistic and selfless on paper, the truth is that if you believe that there isn't deep-rooted politics already in skateboarding, that's almost as ignorant as believing that politics don't exist in the world.
By definition, politics are activities designed to improve someone's status or position and are typically considered to be devious or divisive. If there is some form of voting, election, or strategic recognition acquired involved, you've got politics, baby.
So Weckingball calls out the industry, some specific magazines, which we're not going to name who they are, but I'll leave some inconspicuous cues here and there, are notorious for doing, I guess, the most recognized skateboarding awards in the industry. But every single day, they appear to be more shady, under the table type transactions, and he's calling them out as they desperately needed to be.
If you're a skater like me with a triple-digit IQ, then you've more than likely noticed something not quite right about online competitions. Mainly, one that's taking place at the end of every year. Although I can't prove beyond a doubt that there's something nefarious going on, I've noticed some things, and I'm sure you have too. They have the voting on the website, but they never show the results. And the individual who wins just so happens to be sponsored by several companies that are then promoted for the coming months. And those promotions don't seem hard to get into. Those brands are trending. And who could forget the year that Nyjah Huston clearly was deserving of this championship title, but he was not selected. Even someone like myself who openly doesn't like Nyjah has no problem admitting this because it's the truth. That's why I'll be holding the People's Champ competition on my page in real time. Now, I'm sorry if you're interested in competing. I don't have anything real for you. No idol to put up on your mantle for everyone to praise you and for you to worship. I don't have any money or a shoe deal or anything of the sort. But I do have street cred for you and respect from real skaters. Here's how it works. You will comment your entry for who you think should be the People's Champ on this post. 1 week from today at this time, I will turn off the comment so that there will be no more entries. I will carefully scan all the comments and select the top 16 names that were suggested. After the top 16 applicants have been gathered, we will then put them head to head on a poll format on my page publicly live in real time for you all to vote on. We are putting the power back into the people's and the community and the culture's hands.
So we get the gist of what he's doing here. While Wec's content online is primarily, if not all, sprinkled with sarcasm and a little bit of rage baiting, I think the main message of this particular video still comes across. Number one, very good point. Why would somebody claim to have this public, open voting approach to the Skater of the Year by a brand that we're not going to mention, but it's not actually showing us real time, like the numbers aren't like adding right before your eyes? But it's kind of complicated, Skate Informant. You got to design the website with the right counter and all that. Dude, that's a widget. Like free apps like Instagram already does polling. Very simple tools. It's not rocket science. Maybe in the past it was a tough thing to do. Almost any website can likely offer that feature for free. It's not very difficult to do a free, transparent, like open public voting. Not an obscure counting session where people just lock themselves in the room, come with a conclusion, come out. Like, leave that for the people that are doing sus activities that perhaps this magazine is doing. We're not going to say the name. So it's kind of refreshing to see, dude, just vote on my page. The numbers are here. The comments are here. I'll just sum it all up and I'll maybe do a poll and I'll show you the results. Dude, that's like the perfect middle person will be the social media platform. That's how you do it a neutral way. And perhaps the biggest thing that Weck mentioned in this video that is true is the Skater of the Year award that a certain magazine, which we won't say their name, gave to a certain skater, which we won't say their name, when Nyjah should have gotten it. Many people, they even made videos about how Nyjah was robbed of that award. SKATEINFORMANT, you're throwing some serious accusations here. What's your proof? I got something for you. Fact, when Tyshawn Jones got into the lawsuit situation with Supreme, he forced Supreme to disclose the contract. Do you remember that? I'll refresh your memory. Here it is. And on page 4 of the contract between Supreme and Tyshawn, there was a section reserved for the extra cash prizes, bonuses, and the metrics in which these were going to be quantified. There was a bottom statement that was bold, large font, even highlighted. It was copied here in a black and white printer, but you can tell this was highlighted. The letters were already much larger than the rest of the letters on that page, all capitals and highlighted. And it read, note that should Skater be awarded Thrasher Skater of the Year for the unprecedented third time during the original term, that the bonus shall not be $25,000 but $50,000. That's where it ends. Now, SKATEINFORMANT, but that's just a clause. That's just something to anticipate the possibility. Really? Have you ever looked at contracts before? Do you ever read them for a living? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But I'll tell you what I've seen in my experience. Not only do I sign contracts on a weekly basis, I also make them and audit them. You audit contracts in companies if that's your role and your position, because the people that are the closest to the operation will tend to miss some things. So they'll get somebody on a side or sister department to just review it, because you're not directly involved. So perhaps your eyes are much fresher and you'll pick up things that they can't see. And I think that something similar to that is happening here. The people closest to this operation, in this case Supreme and Tyshawn, and perhaps other magazines involved, which we're not going to say their name, what they fail to realize is that in contracts, even the most important things sometimes slip the cracks and are not included in contracts. For example, I've reviewed private equity acquisition contracts when they're merging companies, and a software company forgot to include the cost of the software in the freaking contract. I've even seen companies in wood mills where they would make pallets for a living, and they also made side money from selling the byproduct into mulch. All the wood chipping, it would turn into mulch and sell to other companies. Well, they forgot to include the price of that. Like their second to primary source of income was not even included in the contract. Like those things can slip the cracks in contract. That's just the world we live in. People are busy, people miss things. We're all human. But here, to ensure that it was not missed at all, we're going above and beyond to be intentional and to note that if he ends up getting Skater of the Year for the third time, they even include the word unprecedented, third time, he should get more money. He should double the money. You really think that was included in the contract by mistake? They're not gonna blatantly say, if we do this nefarious transaction under the table, behind closed doors, we should give him 50 grand. No, but this is the closest thing to it. Why would they include this in the contract? You guys remember how the contract said whenever he would go and do photo shoots and get videos, he should do it under a best effort basis? I mean, how many tries does he get? They didn't include that, but they certainly included in bold, all capitals, and highlighted that he would get Skater of the Year for a third time. He would get double the bonus money. That sounds to me like a pre-arranged agreement. It's already done, bro. They already shook on this. Remember what Gary Rogers said on the 9 Club?
Thrasher Skater of the Year. Like, how does that work at Thrasher? Like,
Good question.
Guys in the office that decide what they like that year. This is like a thing.
A couple of guys.
What did you do for the magazine? What photo made kids subscribe? What interview made them be like, I gotta read it? What did you do for the magazine? Kids is talking about like,
What'd you do for us?
But I tell you this, the number of mags that was purchased after that kickflip photo.
Oh.
Subway.
Yeah.
Is real numbers.
So yes, believe it or not, politics are all up in that thing in skateboarding, dude. All up in them guts.
Pause.
Skate informant, don't bring politics into skateboarding. Well, maybe you're talking about tech decks or longboarding because you're too late for this one, buddy. It's all up in there. It's all tainted. So thank you, Weck, for calling out these magazine companies that rightfully so need to be called out. We're not going to say their names, but at the end of the day, the sad reality is that everyone's looking out for themselves. Even the big skaters, even the little skaters, they're all wanting more money. Can you blame them? Can you not? That's up to you, not up to me. But it's certainly political at the end of the day. By the way, some of you dudes call me like a crazy Democrat for the Trumpstein board that I made because I'm calling out like Trump or whatever. Like, bro, you have no idea. I have a feeling a lot of you are going to like the next pro deck I'm designing. I'm not going to say who's going to be on it, but I already have a name picked out. The Groiper Pro. Thank you guys for watching. Catch you on the next one.